topic sparking citywide debate between Springfield citizens was on the ballot at the polls this Tuesday. Hello, and welcome to Ozarks News Brief. I'm Jesse Elliot.
And I'm Lillian Jackson. Ozarks News Brief reporter Stella Ayricka has been following this story and joins us live with the post-election results.
For the second time, citizens have voted against a plan to raise lodging taxes in the city of Springfield. This was proposed to generate revenue in order to fund a new $175 million convention center. This issue was first on the ballot in November 2025. After it initially did not pass, the city made adjustments to its plan. Springfield brought on architecture firm Populous to help create preliminary designs to give voters a better idea of what the convention center would look like. Along with that, they added a 35-year sunset to the hotel tax. However, these changes were not enough to convince citizens. This election's vote was somewhat close, with only 57% of voters rejecting the tax. This leads many. In a statement, Springfield Mayor Jeff Schrag said, quote, "Our next steps will be to take what we have heard and really focus on the priorities of the City Council as reflected by our residents." For now, reporting live in Springfield, I'm Stella Ayricka for Ozarks News Brief.
Springfield has been ranked as one of the top 20 most dangerous cities in the country. According to Texas Retro News, Springfield, Missouri has been ranked the 18th most dangerous city in the nation for 2026. This is a surprising statistic, as the Springfield Police Department saw a 4.7% decline in overall crime in 2025. Springfield sits 2 spots ahead of Kansas City, Missouri. Springfield began the year with an unusually high number of homicides, with 4 in January alone. The city saw 10 homicides all of 2025.
MoDOT is starting a major project here in Springfield that is expected to impact traffic flow. This new project will focus on making several changes to I-44, including the replacement of bridges at National, Broadway, and Grant Avenue, as well as the construction of a new underpass east of Grant Avenue and improvements to trails in that area. One of the biggest changes coming from this project is the widening of I-44 to 6 lanes and the replacement of pavement between Missouri Route 13 and U.S. Route 65. MoDOT expects that the project will be finished by May 2027. This week, the Missouri Judiciary in Jefferson City issued a warning about a new scam. A new wave of scam text messages targeting drivers across the state. The messages claim that individuals have outstanding traffic tickets and urges them to click a link to pay immediately. But officials say the texts are fake, the case numbers are fake, and the links can cause malware on your phone. Anyone who receives one of these messages is urged to not click the link, delete the text, and report it to local law enforcement.
Chestnut Expressway still has not been fully paved, and it is expected to be done last week. Construction on the road has been going on for quite some time now, and people are starting to get frustrated with the inconvenience it has caused. The construction is aimed at making various improvements to accessibility and safety on Chestnut Expressway, but the current conditions have led to difficult driving conditions. The road was stripped of its pavement, which has led to it having a very bumpy texture. People have been claiming that it is making driving uncomfortable. MoDOT has continued to pave a little more each week with the hopes of getting the road completely finished soon and making a better driving experience than before.
Also in Springfield, the city is getting ready to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Route 66 at the end of the month. With the centennial celebrations fast approaching, Springfield is pulling out all the stops to make sure the city looks presentable. The National Centennial Kickoff event, the beginning of the festivities surrounding the 100-year-old highway, will start on April 30th. A landmark dedication at Birthplace Plaza will happen at 4 p.m. that day, with more events scheduled to take place in the following days. Route66kickoff.com has more information.
With daycare fees on the rise, parents in the Springfield Metro are looking to hire babysitters and nannies more than ever before. Summer is around the corner, and many parents have begun the search for child care with school coming to an end. While daycare is an option, the typical fees per child range from over $200,000 per week, which has become unaffordable for many with monthly costs going past $1,000. In-home services like nannies and babysitters are often sought out due to the affordability, more so now as the economy faces declines. Missouri State University is now making undergraduates pay to apply.
This is making students pay a fee to save their spot, costing them and their families more money. Ozarks News Brief reporter Kayla Keys has been following this story and joins us with the very latest.
Missouri State's Office of Admissions offers on-site admissions during the special events like the showcase. This gives students the chance to get accepted on the spot. During the process, admission staff reviews applications, evaluates transcripts, and can make an admission decision the same day. Students are encouraged to come prepared with a complete application, a $35 application fee, and an official transcript. Once accepted, students must take another important step, paying the $150 enrollment deposit to secure their spot. The deposit acts as an official acceptance of admissions and allows students to register for orientation, also known as SOAR.
Pretty stressful. There's so many barriers to entry already as it is. I am someone that, had I not gotten the scholarship that I had, I wouldn't even be able to come back to college. So I am very pro making sure that this is accessible for as many people as possible.
University officials say the payment confirms a student's intent to enroll and hold their place in the incoming class. The enrollment deposit also allows the university to begin preparing for the student's arrival, including course registrations, housing arrangements, orientation scheduling, and academic advising. Officials say submitting the deposit on time helps ensure students have access to the resources they need as they transition to campus and begin their college experience. Students can find more information on the Missouri State website. For Ozarks News Brief, I'm Kayla Keys.
Shifting over to something that you should want to pay admission for, the Missouri State Bears baseball team is getting lots of national attention. The Bears are having a fantastic season as they have won 9 of their last 12 games. The Bears are currently 21-10 with an undefeated 15 wins at home. This is the best home start to program history. The Bears faced the Missouri Tigers this past Tuesday, where the Bears lost 2-5. The Bears will travel to face Conference USA opponent, the Delaware Blue Hens, in a 3-game series. The Bears will then come back to Springfield to have a rematch against Mizzou for Military Appreciation Night.
Well, that's a very impressive track record. What do you think?
Yes, it is. Have you been to a game yet?
I have. It's been a wonderful experience every time.
No, I love baseball games. I love getting a hot dog. I love having some drinks with my friends. It's a lot of fun.
All a part of the experience.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, sports guy, but I love baseball.
Yeah.
Up next on Ozarks News Brief, photos of the moon flyby have been released. We have updates on the war in Iran and the latest on a controversial education law in Iowa.
That and more when we return. You're watching Ozarks News Brief. NASA has released photos taken during a historic flyby of the moon. NASA has released more photos taken during the historic flyby of the moon on Monday. For the first time in history, humans have seen the dark side of the moon with their own eyes. Now you can see it too. Here's what the Artemis II crew saw during Monday's lunar flyby. NASA says the crew was about 4,000 miles from the moon at one point. They now hold the record for the farthest humans have traveled from Earth when a spacecraft does a flyby. It doesn't land, it swings close to the moon using gravity to change speed and direction. This gives us a unique perspective you don't get from the orbit or from Earth.
Back on the ground, President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced a 2-week ceasefire in the Iran war, just hours before his deadline to escalate the conflict. The president said the agreement is contingent on Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz. He posted the ceasefire to Truth Social less than 2 hours before a deadline in which Trump threatened to, quote, destroy a whole civilization. The president said he has received a 10-point proposal from Iran and will continue negotiations, but Iran is already claiming victory, saying it forced the U.S. to accept that plan. A senior White House official said Israel has also agreed to suspend its bombing campaign while talks continue. The state of Iowa is under fire as a bill is now restricting the discussion of LGBTQ in the classrooms from grades K through 12. A controversial Iowa education law will move forward. A federal appeals court ruled the state can restrict teachers from talking about LGBTQ topics with students in grades K through 12. The law also bans some books deemed not age appropriate in libraries and classrooms. In addition, the law requires schools to let parents know if a student requests to use different pronouns or seeks gender-related accommodations. The measure has been challenged by librarians, publishers, teachers' unions, and LGBTQ advocacy groups. Iowa's Attorney General called the ruling a huge win, saying that it protects children and gives parents more transparency in schools.
According to the PA Media News Agency, organizers canceled this year's Wireless Festival in London. This creates controversy towards headliner Kanye West. This began when news broke Monday that Pepsi and Diageo pulled their sponsorship from the Wireless Festival. That came after West was announced as the headlining act for the massive 3-day event scheduled for July. The problem is the rapper has a years-long history of anti-Semitic and other offensive remarks. On Tuesday, West issued a statement saying he wants to bring unity, peace, and love through his music for London.
A relaunch of 8 original American Girl dolls went on sale Tuesday. The Historical Characters collection pays homage to American Girl doll's 40th anniversary this year. Each doll will include her signature outfit and a book plus packaging inspired by the original design. This OG collection includes such dolls as Felicity, Kea, Kit, and Samantha. Each doll retails for $175. American Girl dates back to 1986, when a teacher who loved history created the first product line.
You know what? I loved American Girl dolls.
Really?
Those were my thing growing up. I made my own doll and everything and customized it. And when I got it for Christmas, it was the best gift ever. So I'm happy that these are coming back and little girls are playing with them again.
Yeah, it seems like a great toy to have as a young child. All right, here's a look at our live traffic at West Sunshine and South Campbell from our partners with ozarktraffics.com. All right, it looks like the intersection there is not too busy at the moment. I see a little bit of a pileup coming on, but it's not anything too crazy. I'm sure people are making their way towards a lunch break, possibly.
All right, we'll have your 7-day forecast when we return. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
Here's a look at Missouri State University just outside of the Plaster Student Union. It looks like a very nice day outside. I was walking outside this morning actually, and I felt like it was kind of perfect weather, especially for a suit.
No, it is perfect weather. It's very nice. I'm probably going to go on a walk later.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yes,
yeah, I enjoy walks very much.
Yes.
All right, here are the conditions for today. It is 67 degrees outside. I mean, it feels like 67, so that's good. It's sunny, the wind is 13 miles per hour, so you get a little bit of a chill in there for that warmth. All right, tonight it's going to drop down to it's actually going to be 67 degrees, and it's going to feel like it drops down to 55. The conditions will most be clear, and there won't be any rain. All right, here's tomorrow's forecast. It is 56 degrees, heavy rain, and a wind of 15 miles per hour. And here's the 7-day forecast that we have for you. Thursday is going to be pretty warm, actually. It's going to be 80 degrees, but a low of 55. And Friday is going to be rainy. Looks like Saturday it might be a little patchy here and there. And then on Sunday it'll also be moderately rainy. And looks like it's going to be sort of patchy the rest of that week. Well, hopefully I can still go outside and do some of the things that I enjoy. I know when I play disc golf, when it gets muddy outside after rain, it's like you can't really play.
Yeah.
So. All right, up next on Ozarks News Brief, the Springfield Cardinals are back in action. March Madness is over and we have new champions, and golf's most prestigious tournament is here.
That and more when we return. You're watching Ozarks News Brief. The Springfield Cardinals made their way back to Hammons Field and secured yet another win, keeping their record undefeated. They are currently 4-1 and hold the #1 spot on the Texas League North Division. The Springfield Cardinals won their division last year for the second time ever, their last win being in 2012. The Springfield Cardinals currently have two notable players on their roster, left-handed pitcher Liam Doyle and switch-hander Durangelo Sinja. This season, pitching seems to be their strong suit, but opening weekend they had their bats hot. Dakota Harris hit the first opening day grand slam in franchise history and then had 3 solo homers to follow. Harris then had another grand slam in the following game, which is also the first time that has happened in Springfield Cardinals history. The University of Michigan took home this year's March Madness win after defeating the University of Connecticut on Monday night. The Wolverines led 33-29 at the half, outscoring the Huskies by 2 in the second half. Michigan only hit 2 3-pointers on the night, but were 25 for 28 from the free throw line.
We weren't very good early in the year. The first 2 exhibitions, we beat St. John's, but they weren't St. John's yet. And then we didn't play well. And at that point, we considered pivoting and changing our lineup and going a different direction and maybe admitting failure for our vision.
Michigan wins its second championship in men's college basketball. The victory was also the first for the Big Ten Conference since Michigan State in 2000. Golf's first major of the year is back at the iconic Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia. The 2026 Masters is set to begin today, April 9th, and will be concluded by Sunday, April 12th. Practice rounds began earlier this week, building anticipation for one of the most prestigious events in sports. This year marks the 90th edition of the Masters, featuring an elite field of around 91 players, including defending champion Rory McIlroy. They will complete over 72 holes on a par 72 course that stretches more than 7,500 yards. The players will compete for the ultimate prize in golf, the legendary green jackets. Ray fans are excited to be back in the Trop. After 2 years, the Tampa Bay Rays finally returned to their home field. Back in 2024, Hurricane Milton caused extensive damage to the Tropicana Stadium, which meant that the Rays had to temporarily move. For the rest of the 2024 season and all of last season, the Rays played at the George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa.
I was a believer because we had to be back here. We didn't want to go back to Steinbrenner. So we want to be back at home. We want to be back at home at the Trop.
I'm glad they were able to get it finished just in time for opening day.
Fans filled the dome, welcoming their team with energy and anticipation as the Rays took the field again. This return marks a fresh chapter as the team looks to build momentum in front of its home crowd again. One of the best-known stars of the WNBA is changing teams as part of a trading agreement. The Chicago Sky traded Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream on Monday. The Dream acquired Reese after reaching an agreement with the Chicago Sky that in exchange for the WNBA star, Chicago will receive Atlanta's first-round picks. For the first 2 years, Reese is a 2-year All-Star and last year's top rebounder. She led the WNBA in rebounding in 2025. And has averaged 14 points and just under 13 rebounds per game in her first 2 seasons in the league. She's known for leading Louisiana State University to the national championship in 2023. The world's biggest sporting event is coming to North America. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will span the United States, Canada, and Mexico, marking the first time 3 countries have hosted the tournament together. Across the U.S., host cities are preparing for an influx of fans with state-of-the-art stadiums ready to showcase the game at its highest level. From coast to coast, communities will come alive celebrating the passion and diversity that make soccer the world's game. As the countdown continues, anticipation is building for a historic summer, one that will unite millions and capture the world's attention. Chicago Bears Hall of Famer Steve McMichael, also known as Mongo, was diagnosed with chronic traumatic encephalopathy, also known as CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease that is found in athletes who play in contact sports and can only be determined after death. The 1986 Super Bowl champion passed away in April last year and has been battling ALS for 5 years before that. His wife, Misty McMichael, said she believes too many players are diagnosed with ALS before death and CTA after death. According to Dr. Ann McKee, who is the director of the Boston University CTA Center, about 6% of individuals with CTE also have ALS. Other NFL players also diagnosed with CTE include Junior Seau, Aaron Hernandez, and Mike Webster.
Up next on Ozarks News Brief, hard work gets rewarded after 48 years of service for a Denny's busboy.
We'll have that story after the break. You're watching Ozarks News Brief.
A Denny's in Phoenix honored a busboy's 48 years of service with a Barney's Night party on Wednesday. Barney, now 78 years old, was hired in 1978 when not a lot of businesses were hiring people with special needs. He's known as an enthusiastic hard worker. Arizona Congressman Greg Stanton even stopped in Wednesday to present him with a certificate of congressional recognition. That's going to do it for us today. I'm Jesse Elliott.
And I'm Lillian Jackson. For all of us here with Ozarks News Brief, have a great day.